So you can start seated again because it's the root chakra, and just softening or closing your eyes to allow yourself just to arrive. And tuning into your breath, your body, and still with this theme of the root chakra, which is all about safety, security, our basic survival. And you may have an intention you wish to have for yourself for this practice, and it could be something like I am safe, I feel secure, I have everything I need, I feel fully supported by my friends, by my family. It's about that inner security. And should you choose to visualize a color, the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, is associated with the color red. It's also so associated with the, in the subtle body, the physical layer. And just breathe. And maybe start by having some balancing breaths. So inhaling for 4 again and out for 4. Just to allow yourself to feel grounded. Check in with your body, noticing how you feel. And then as you're ready, maybe come to lie down on the mat. So Self-Care Sunday, we've taken to having more gentle practices on a Sunday, which I think is very good for us. So start just in Shavasana and notice how your body connects to the earth. Each part that you have that connection, the earth supporting you. And take the arms up overhead, coming into a full body stretch. And just release that stretch so you soften into that full body position. And walk the heels over to the right and the shoulders, taking hold of the left wrist, coming into our banana stretch. Feeling it all the way down the left side. And bringing your attention to the area around the base of the spine, which your tailbone's connected to the mat in this position, which is where the root chakra resides. And come to center and take your heels and shoulders over to the left, feeling the stretch down the opposite side. And come back to center. Just bend your knees, place your feet flat on the mat, lift the hips off the mat and then replace them back down, allowing your spine to come down fully connected with the mat. Then lift the feet off with the knees bent and take the knees a little wider than the body, so wider than the usual hip width, and circle the right knee. So you're circling the knee, but really you're circling the hip joint with its direct connection to Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. And change direction. And then come to rest. The foot towards so take hold of the outside of that right foot. And release it back to its position, same as the left. Then take some circles with the left hip, left knee, just warming through that joint and changing direction. So because it's Self-Care Sunday, we're going to do quite a few restorative or yin type postures. And pause and take that left knee towards the left shoulder again, like you did the other side. And the foot up to the ceiling, maybe taking hold of the outside of the foot. So traditionally in yin, you don't do any body warm-up. But in more recent understanding of the science behind yin, you're not stretching ligaments and tendons. You're actually stretching myofascia. So it's actually quite good for you to have some warming up through the muscles first. And release. And take the knees together. And circle them together. And we often now do a couple of yin or long stretches at the end of a practice regardless. And change direction. And notice how your pelvis shifts as you move. Allow the knees to drop over to the left. And just stretch that right arm up and over, coming into your first twist. And I still prefer to do our first twist lying down. I think it's better. It's better for your spine. And release that right hand back over. Engage your core. Swing the knees up to center and straight over to the other side. And take your left hand up and over. Feeling that stretch right across the body into that twist. And come back to center. Take your hands behind your knees and just have a little gentle rock and roll. But come straight over to 4-point kneeling pose. Tabletop. And in this position we'll just take some gentle cat-cow. So tilting the pelvis, dropping the stomach, lifting through the heart, lifting the gaze up, and then the other direction, tilting the tailbone, tucking it under, arching through the back, dropping the head. And just a few of those at your speed. Feeling the spine wake. And then maybe just take the hips a little side to side and just move a bit more intuitively. So you can carry on with cat-cow if you prefer. Or move a little right to left or that figure of 8. Just waking up the fascia where you get stickiness. And come to neutral. And slowly push back into child's pose. And just pause there, noticing your connection with the earth. And come back to tabletop. Take your hands a full hand ahead. Tuck the toes under. Lift the knees and push gently back into your first downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling your feet a little, feeling that stretch through the backs of the legs. And then slowly walk the toes to meet the hands. Lengthen the spine so you have a flat back. Generously bend the knees. Take the hands out to the side and rise up into mountain pose. And release. So we're going to go through Sun Salutation C, but gently. So starting in mountain, and lifting the toes and spread them wide. Working up through your strong base. So engaging the quads, lifting the kneecaps, tucking the tailbone under. Strong core, it's active. And roll the shoulders down and back, taking the hands out to the side, palms forward, feeling that strong line of energy through the crown of the head. And it's in poses like this that we can really feel the root chakra. The energy rooting down into the earth, but also rising up and out. So inhale and sweep the arms up, come into a gentle back bend, ever so gentle. And take the palms together, soften the knees, and slowly, slowly come into a deep forward fold, taking the hands down through the centre. Hands come down to the mat or to blocks if you prefer. And in this position, just take your feet a little bit wider than normal. So we're going to pause in our deep forward fold and be gentle with ourselves. So shift your weight into your right foot and just try and straighten your left leg a little more. Feel the stretch down the back and that energy from the earth. And shift your weight into your left foot and try and straighten your right leg a little more. And again, feel that energy. Come back through centre and just hang. Allow your head and neck to be soft. You can yes and no your head, just letting it move a little to ensure that it's without tension. And maybe even hold onto your elbows in this ragdoll pose. And breathe. You can even do this over a chair side, so that you could kind of have support under your stomach, allowing yourself to sink into this. Then take the hands to the mat, take the feet back to hip width, and step the right foot back, dropping the knee. But pause here, feeling that stretch through the right iliopsoas muscle through the hip. And just breathe, noticing the sensations. And then on the next inhale, take the arms up. And maybe sink your hips a little lower. Take the hands back down to the earth and recognize that you have that connection with the earth there. Feel it through your fingertips or your palms. Take the left knee back, and Self-Care Sunday, we're not having any full planks, so go straight to half plank, making sure that your knees are further behind. So you're not in tabletop, you have that angle. And then shift forwards a little and then just lower as slowly as you can to the mat. And pause here for a moment. Take your feet to the edges of the mat and turn the toes out, and take your hands under the forehead. So you're coming into a version of Makarasana, crocodile pose, with your body fully connected to the earth. And breathe. Then take your feet back to hip width, turning them so the tops of the feet are pushing into the mat. And come up onto your elbows, with your elbows under your shoulders, into Sphinx. Hands are gripping into the mat and pulling it towards you as you're lifting through the chest. And breathe. Then release your elbows to the side. Take your hands under your shoulders and just push back all the way to child's pose, extended child's pose. Then back through tabletop, tucking the toes, back into downward facing dog. And this time in downward facing dog, take your feet to the edges of the mat. letting your sit bones reach high so you feel that energy through the root chakra. And breathe, maybe allowing your heels to sink a little more towards the earth, but don't lock your knees. Take your feet back to hip width. Right foot is still leading, so we're going to step that right foot forwards between the hands, but it doesn't matter how it gets there. It can go in little steps, or you can help it. And drop that left knee once again. And pausing here, feeling that stretch instead of rushing through it. And inhale, raise the arms up and sink the hips a little bit lower. Hands down to the mat again. Tuck the left toes and step them or bring them forwards back into your deep forward fold. But this time, instead of staying in your deep forward fold, come to a flat back. Your hands can be on your thighs or on your shins or blocks. And make sure that you are lengthening through the spine to feel that energy rising from the feet up to the base of the spine, and then that lengthen through the spine out of the crown of the head. Take your hands back down to the mat for that deep forward fold again. Generously bend the knees and sweep the arms wide as you rise back up into extended mountain. And breathe. And without coming to a pause, take the palms together all the way down through heart center again, back down to your deep forward fold. This time, the left foot steps back. Knee drops to the mat. And instead of rising up, place the left hand down flat on the mat and raise the right hand up to the sky, so you've got a twist. But it's gentle. And breathe. Take your gaze up to that hand if you wish. Take that right hand back down to the mat and allow your right leg to join your left, coming back again into half plank. No full planks today. Shift forwards a little and lower once again. This time, inhale to cobra. And lower, making sure your hands are under your shoulders. And just a gentle cobra. Inhale again to cobra. Pressing through the hips and tops of the legs down into the mat. And lower. Inhale up to cobra once again. And exhale and lower. Then push back through tabletop all the way back to child's pose again. And breathe. And breathe and just notice how you feel. Come back to tabletop, taking your hands forward a little. Tuck the toes. And push the sit bones towards the sky once again, coming back into your last downward facing dog. Making sure that your ears are framed by the arms and the spine is long. And remembering an affirmation that you may have chosen about safety, security, support. And the left foot's still leading, so that left foot's going to step forward between the hands. And it doesn't matter how it gets there. Drop the right knee. And this time take the right hand down to the mat And the left hand up to the ceiling for that gentle twist, taking your gaze up if you wish. And breathe. Return that left hand to the mat. Tuck the right toes and step that right foot forward, back into your deep forward fold. And hang. Let it hang. Don't lock your knees. Keep them soft or bent. But this time take hold of your elbows like a rag doll and just allow the upper body to sway a little side to side. And breathe. Then release the hands, generously bend the knees, lengthen through the spine, take the hands wide and sweep them back up into extended mountain with a gentle back bend. Take the palms together, down through heart center, back to your Tadasana mountain pose. And release. That was lovely. Now we're going to do some slow poses that are all down on the mat. So we're just going to have a gentle warrior two first because we like them. And it's really good to connect with the root chakra through our warriors. So the left toes are pointing out, the right toes are coming in a little, hips are forward. Curl so you're pushing your spine backwards, your head's coming forwards as though you're doing sort of a cat in this position. And then as you next inhale, sweep your hands forward and out, bending the knee, coming into your warrior two. And feel the strength in your warrior. And breathe. On the next exhale, straighten the leg and curl your arms forward, rounding through the spine again. Dropping the gaze. And breathe. And on the next inhale, come back out, sweeping back out into your warrior two. And breathe. Drop the right hand to the right thigh, turn the left palm, and slowly, as though your hand's moving through water, slowly reverse your warrior. Keeping your gaze on that left hand. Notice the sensations through your body. Notice the energy through your legs rising from the ground, through the root chakra, and feel your own internal strength. And breathe. And then slowly release that arm and come back to warrior two. Just do that once more. So right hand drops to the right thigh, turn the left palm and slow, as though you're trailing your hand through sand. And breathe. And notice your inner strength. And breathe. And then slowly release that hand back and come back to warrior two. And breathe. Release the arms, turn the feet, so the right toes are pointing out to the short edge of the mat, the left toes are in, hips are forward again. And round forward, curl your back as though you're in that cat pose again. And then open it up, coming out, sweeping into your warrior two on the opposite side. And breathe. And once again, round through, curl forward like a cat. And then sweep it out, coming back to your warrior two. And feel your inner strength. Maybe sinking a little lower if you wish. Then drop that left hand to the left thigh. Turn the right palm, and again slowly as though through water, reverse your warrior. Taking your gaze with it if you wish. Slowly coming back to warrior two. And then again drop that left hand, turn the palm, and slowly as though through sand, reverse your warrior. Don't hold your breath. Just feel your inner strength. And breathe. And slowly come back to your warrior two. And release your hands and heel toe your feet in. We're going to have a tree because then after that we're going to do all our poses from the mat. So shifting our weight into our right foot, the trunk of our tree with the roots spreading down. Externally rotate the left. Bring in your foot and either leave it there or choose the point for your foot. Finding a drishti, a point that is still. Finding your balance through your roots and taking your hands to the position that you would like. And breathe. Maybe in this tree taking your branches wide and then back in. And then wide and back in. And release. Nicely done. Shifting the weight to the left, externally rotating the leg, placing your foot at the point that's right for you today, and choosing your hand position. You're strong through the core, lifting out of the hips. Feel that energy rising from the earth and into the earth. Maybe taking your branches wide, even if you wobble. And in, and wide, and in, and release. Lovely. Take the feet a little bit wider but not full width. Bend the knees, flatten the spine down, hands to the mat, and either stay here or lower into Malasana Yogi Squat. And if your heels are off the ground, place a blanket or cushions under them. Hands to heart center, encouraging those thighs away from each other and lifting through the chest. And breathe. Take the right hand down to the ground and you can lift the left to have a little twist. And breathe. You can even take the left hand around and behind your back to reach the right thigh if you wish. And release that left hand up and back. Take the right hand up to the sky. And you can even take it around and behind to that left thigh if you wish. And release it back up and down. Take your hands behind and just lower to the mat, taking your feet out in front. Have cushions or a bolster or a pillow or something nearby for the next poses, and a strap. Now, when we come into caterpillar, which is a seated forward fold, sometimes it's easier to fold if you lift your hips a little. So you can put a cushion under your hips, because what you're wanting to do is trying to tilt your pelvis forward, and that's more difficult if you're flat. You can use a strap if you wish, but have your bolster at hand. And inhale and lift. Rise out through your body, lifting out of the hips, and hinge at the hips, folding forwards. Lastly, dropping your head. You can add your bolster to rest on if you wish. And breathe. And breathe. Just try and sink a little. Don't lock your knees though. And breathe. A few more breaths here. And remembering any affirmation that feels right for you. I am safe. I am strong. I am supported. I am secure. Just a couple more breaths. Release your legs. Remove your bolster or let go of your strap and rise upwards. Staying on a cushion if you wish, or removing it if you prefer. And taking the right foot in, bent, and the left leg out. Turning the body towards that left leg. You can use a strap again. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Folding over that left leg. And trying to allow the rest of your body just to sink into the pose. And breathe. And as you're there in that pose, you may find you can sink a little lower after a few more breaths. But just be guided by your body. And breathe. Just a few more breaths. Stay in the same position, but just release a little. And allow your bolster or pillow to be just to the left, the outer side of that left leg. Allow your left arm to rest on that cushion and take your right arm behind you, if that's comfortable enough for you. So you're folding it behind your waist and taking your gaze up, but you're still folding over that left leg. Your leg's not locked, it doesn't matter if it's bent. Soften or close your eyes. And feel that stretch, but also it stretches right back to the base of the spine, down to the earth through the root chakra. And breathe. And again, you might notice you sink a little lower. Slowly bring that right arm back round Take your gaze towards your leg and walk yourself back up. Before we go to the other side, just have your feet out in front of you. Lift through the chest so that you're giving your spine a little counter pose. And then windshield wipe your legs side to side just a little. And swap sides. So you might want to move your bolster first. Your left leg is in. Your right leg is out. First, you're turning your body towards that right leg. Use your strap if you wish. Inhale and lift out of the pelvis, out of the waist, and then fold over that leg, using your strap if you wish. And dropping your head last. And breathe. This is another pose I've noticed a big shift since we started doing lockdown yoga, because we've done a lot more of this kind of pose in that time. And breathe. Just a few more breaths. Then, staying in the same position, if you're not already, rest your arm on that bolster. Take your left arm behind the waist. Your body turns and your gaze can go up as though it's going over at about 45 degrees from the ground. And then close or soften your eyes again and sink into the pose once again. Remembering your affirmation, whichever resonates with you. I am safe and secure. I'm supported. I have everything and everyone I need. Just a few more breaths. Then release that left arm back round to the front and your gaze towards your leg and walk yourself up. Take your feet in front, heels together, and take your cushion or bolster to the middle so it's comfy. Inhale and lift. Exhale and fold into it and cuddle your bolster or cushion and drop your head. Bring your ankles closer to the body if you wish for a stronger stretch. But use your cushion or bolster to make you as comfortable as possible. And breathe. Just a few more breaths here. Try and sink into it, softening through every single part of your body. And bringing your awareness back to that root chakra, maybe visualizing that red orb of light around the base of the spine, connecting with the earth. And just notice how your body has sunk further without you even realizing. To release, take your hands to the mat and slowly come back up. And we're going to try deer pose. Deer pose. So let me just, we are going to take our right leg out to the side and bent, and our left leg bent but turned up, so you're on the inside of the right foot and the outside of the left foot, and there is a 90-degree angle between your thigh and your calf on both legs, and a 90-degree angle between both legs. And then you're going to rest back on your hands. Does that make sense? So you've got internal rotation in one leg and external rotation of the other. If you get stuck, don't blame me. And just try and sink back and breathe. And just a few more breaths here, because we're going to keep our legs as they are, but go forwards with our bolster. Just 2 more breaths. Come forwards and have your bolster by your right knee. Yeah. And just fold over that right thigh and knee onto your bolster. So you've got a right angle and you've got a right angle between the legs and a right angle at each bend. Put your bolster by the right leg, which is the foot's turned up, and fold over that right thigh onto your bolster. And breathe. Breathe. Release. And we're going to try and do that on the opposite side. So first, your left leg is bent to 90 degrees. There is 90 degrees between your left thigh and your right thigh. I'll turn again so you can see a bit better. 90 degrees between your left thigh and your right thigh, and both legs are bent to 90 degrees. So start by just leaning back. And we'll have a few breaths here first, before we then fold over the right leg. And breathe. Deer pose. I'm not quite sure why deer pose, but other than maybe our legs are like part antlers. And just notice your body, how it's connected to the ground, the different parts on each leg. Just 2 more breaths. And then allow your bolster to sit by the left thigh and knee. So last time it was by the right. It's by the leg that the foot is turned up towards the ceiling. And then just fold over that leg onto your bolster. And breathe. Allowing your body just to try and sink into the mat. And just a couple more breaths here. And slowly rise. Now come over to tabletop, but have your bolster or cushion or whatever in the middle under your stomach. And we're coming into a sort of dragon. So right foot to the outside of the right hand. Take the left foot back where you wish. Turn that right foot through 45 degrees and allow the knee to drop open if that's right for you. And sink onto your bolster. You might want to even put your bolster up on its end if you can't sink as low. And then your body can just drop onto it. Is that okay? Yeah. So it's more supported than our usual dragon. But still feeling that stretch through the right hip. If you wish your bolster to be a bit lower, then make it lower. Otherwise, stay in that position. For your sleeping dragon. Just a few more breaths. And rise back up onto your hands and just straighten that right leg just to have that counter pose before doing it on the other side. And breathe. And then release the right leg and swap sides so the left leg comes to the outside. Take the right knee back. Turn the right foot through 45 degrees, allowing the knee to drop open if you wish. And position your bolster so that you are in the most supported position that you would like. And breathe. Again, lowering it if you prefer. And remembering that the root chakra is all about safety and security, your inner world of safetiness. And just a few more breaths here. And to release, straighten that left leg just to have that counter stretch again. And then come to lying on the mat, but have your bolster on your left side, but about 20 centimeters away from your body, and have it in line with your hip. Then place your right foot on your right knee. Encourage that right knee over, and it should land on the bolster. You can stretch out your left arm and then stretch out your right arm and take your gaze over to the right hand for your supported twist. If you'd rather not take your gaze to the right, just snuggle into the bolster on the left. And breathe. And feel your body just sinking into the earth here, completely supported. Just a few more breaths. Lovely. Release that leg. Take the bolster over to the opposite side. And again, about 20 centimeters away from the hip. So it should now be on your right side. Unless I've got my left and right mixed up, which I do. Then place your left foot on your right knee. Encourage that knee over, dropping onto the bolster and stretching out your arms for your supported twist. And feel yourself just sinking. Tension leaving your body. And breathe. A few more breaths here. And slowly come back to center and place the bolster right behind your sacrum and lower down over it, taking the soles of the feet together so you have supine or reclined butterfly legs and a version of supported fish at the top. You can take your arms out to the side, palms up, or if you prefer, have them palms down. If you really want, you can take them overhead, but that's really quite a strong stretch. And breathe. Just allowing your body to sink into the mat, into the earth. And visualize your entire body within a glowing red orb, protected and safe. And breathe. Just a few more breaths here. Then slowly, as you're ready, roll off the side and pull the bolster down so that you can lift your hips and place it under the sacrum. And go straight to legs in the air. In this position, just allowing the upper body to sink into the mat and the legs just to feel weightless. The bolster supporting you at the base of the spine. Energy coming up from the earth and rooting down to the earth. And here try extending the exhale, or try box breathing. So inhaling for 4, pause for 4, exhaling for 4, and pause for 4. To your choice of breath, just for a few moments. Tapping directly into the parasympathetic nervous system. Allowing the body to rest and relax. And slowly move the bolster from under your hips and allow it to rest under the knees so you have a supported Shavasana. I'm going to sit up, but I'd like you to stay there. Pull on a blanket if you wish. An eye mask, anything that will keep you as comfortable as possible for relaxation. And just allow yourself to sink into the mat once again. Knowing that this time is just as important as the rest of the practice. And take your awareness to your right hand. Notice the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger and the little finger. Notice the palm and the back of the hand. Be aware of the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, and the shoulder. Take your awareness to your left hand. Notice the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the little finger. Be aware of the palm and the back of the hand. Notice the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, and the shoulder. Be aware of both arms rested on the mat, sinking into the earth but supported by the earth. Take your awareness to your right leg and all the way down to your right foot. Notice the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the little toe. Notice the sole of the foot and the top of the foot. Be aware of the heel, the ankle, the lower leg, the knee, the thigh, and the right hip. Take your awareness to your left leg and all the way down to your left foot. Notice the big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the little toe. Notice the sole of the foot and the top of the foot, the heel, the ankle, the lower leg, the knee, the thigh, and the left hip. Notice both legs rested on the mat, fully supported by the earth. Be aware of the chest and the stomach rising and falling with the breath. Notice the whole of the back and the base of the spine, the site of the root chakra, possibly in your mind's eye glowing red. Follow the line of the spine to the neck and notice the jaw, the cheeks, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the ears, and the mouth. Notice the whole of the head resting on the mat. Be aware of your entire body sinking into the mat but fully supported by the earth. And visualize your entire body in red, glowing light, knowing that you're safe and secure. And just rest there for a few moments. Deepen the inhale and deepen the exhale. As you inhale, visualize that red light becoming brighter and deeper, and as you exhale, it softens. Notice energy filling your body as you inhale. Notice it reducing as you exhale. Notice energy spreading throughout your body, throughout your limbs. Wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. Bend your knees and your arms. Take a full body stretch. Maybe bring your knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side. And if you wish, roll onto one side, just for a few moments. Then slowly, as you're ready, push yourself up to a seated position. Coming back to the room, but keep your eyes closed or soft. Rub the skin on your arms and the skin on your legs. Take the fingertips to the back of the neck and massage into the hairline. Take the hands down to the mat. And as you raise them up overhead, inhale. Pause and visualize holding the sun. Palms together, Bring them down and exhale. Pause and take them out. Inhale and rise. Pause. Together and exhale. Pause. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste.